I want to thank everybody for attending. Yep. Okay, I think everything is running well, so I'm going to start with the teaching. So again, thank you very much for attending. Today is going to be one teaching day. Yep. So what I'm doing is that I am basically doing every Sunday, a teaching with a meditation. So what I'm like to do right now is help you in the process of understanding myself. Here I am. I'm Jesus the Christ, reincarnated. Yeah, but there's a lot more to it. Yeah, I'm also a highly recognized teacher in Tibetan Buddhism. At 9 years old, I was recognized, just like the Dalai Lama is recognized as a reincarnated teacher. I was recognized. And they came all the way to America when I was 9, and they knocked on my parents' door, just like in the movie Little Buddha, except very different. This is not an agreed-upon situation. It's a shocking situation for my parents. It did not end up good. Yeah, it devastated my relationships to my entire family, everybody, my parents, my brother, my sister, all my cousins, everybody. Yeah, it led to the whole thing turning out to be some kind of joke and a way to humiliate me, even though they knew that I was a reincarnated person, which is hard for them to understand, let alone being reincarnation of Jesus and a top teacher in Tibet, a world teacher. So that in itself became a very big process, a problem for my family. So it was never brought up again. After they showed up, it just became a joke, and that was it. So I could never talk about it. I could never further it. I could never do anything while in the family. But afterwards, I did. So I'll just show you a couple things, just so that we have an understanding. So this is medals, medals for Buddha Maitreya, Jetsun Gawa Jampa Rinpoche, presented in Kathmandu in 2005. And this is the location in which Gautama Buddha was born and recognized and given extreme understanding that he was Buddha. So that's where I went. That's where they took me, to Nepal. And I was enthroned under this situation, and it became a very big series of events, that I was involved in. And so they enthroned me in monasteries, and where I present my tools and my form of meditation and healing, and I do teaching. And the enthronement is at very large monasteries, and where I'm sitting on this very tall throne, and something in America you just would not think about, but it really was my life, how I lived my life. And from 9 years old on, I knew that I was this person. I knew that I was to be enthroned. By the time I got to 30, it really started taking place a lot. So I would be in positions of teaching the ancient Dharma teachings of Tibet and India and Nepal. And I included in that the teachings of Jesus the Christ, because that was one of my incarnations, and that did not go over well in Tibet, but I did it anyway. And this is one of my monasteries, Maitreya Monastery in Nepal, that I teach at and have been teaching at for nearly 30 years. And this is just one of my many, many enthronements. And while I'm teaching in Nepal or Tibet or India or any of the places that I teach, they made this enthronement painting of me at the highest monastery of Tibetan Buddhism, called the Kalachakra. Yeah. And I am the senior teacher and representative of Buddhism for the Kalachakra, known as Gawa Jumpa Gompo. And as you see, that's me. And so, that's, if you go to Tibet or India or Nepal, you'll find that picture in the monasteries where I represent as the teacher. But I'm an American, and I live in America, and I still teach, but this is what I'm teaching, is the healing of America. So I have enthronements all over the place, and I have gone from one monastery to the next where I receive enthronements for previous incarnations. This is for the incarnation of Milarepa. The other incarnations, like this one, is for the incarnation of Padmasambhava, and others are the incarnation of Gawa Jampa, or the relationship of Padmasambhava. Yeah, so this is me. This is your teacher right now. Yeah, so this is not something you're going to come across too commonly in America. It's just not. But it is my life. It's what I've grown up with all through my life, and even to today. So that's me. That's me teaching. I'm teaching you, and this is the level in which I have my throne. I have my documentation. I have my verification that I'm not under some kind of delusion or crazy or, all those things that could be, because there are a lot of pretty crazy people out there. And one of which is Donald Trump. So that's who I'm going to cover in this process. And it's what I talk about a lot because I'm an American and born an American. I'm Native American. I'm Blackfoot and Cherokee. My mother is Cherokee. My father is Blackfoot. And that's what we are, Native Americans. And so America is big to me. It has a large historical value in its relationship to world peace and world relationships to Jesus the Christ. Yeah. And so it's pretty much my job, to help take care of America. And in doing so, I am empowered in a process of the seat of the President of the United States. The President of the United States is a titulary president. He only has office 4 years at a time and can only take office for 2 cycles of terms. So that is our normal relationship. So the president is temporary, and we've had many, like 40 some odd presidents. So that's an enormous amount of temporary presidents. I am not temporary. I am always the president. From the beginning of the president till all time of the president. The position of the president is a holy seat. Funny, but it's true. And that's why I have this position. That's why I live in America, so that I am a regent. I do not sit at the White House. I sit in one of the states of the United States. And I empower the whole of the United States by being in the United States and teaching through the United States. So I'm going to help explain some of what's going on, in our beautiful United States. And what we mainly have is that we are taken over by hate. And here I am, this guy here, love, that's me. I teach love. I teach the science of love. I teach the meditation of love. I heal the earth. with love. I transmit the vibration of love and manifest it into humanity through sacred geomancy, a science that was established by God in the very beginning of creation. That's what I do. So in all of that, I also counteract the Dark Lodge, and I represent the White Lodge. So the influence of the Dark Lodge is heavy here in America. It's heavy all around the world, Yeah, and reincarnation is a fact, but we don't know that. People don't know that. I know that. Obviously, I'm a tuku. I'm reincarnated. They come to find me. I'm not the only one that they realize is reincarnated. We are a large group of reincarnated human souls that take incarnation to be of service, and we're not afraid of the world. We're not threatened by taking incarnation, and we feel that we are a benefit to humanity. And I would rather continue the service of incarnation and presenting love in every form that I can into humanity in order to raise it up and teach it for what it's meant to learn, which is the attributes of love and the characteristics of love. So in that, we have a guy named Donald Trump and a guy named Elon Musk. And both these guys, from their previous lives, inherit hate. They are hate. They can't help it. They have no empathy. They have no compassion. They have no heart. They have no love. They have nothing. All they have is money. Money. That's it. 100%. That's it. It's not love. It's love of money. They're greedy. Greedy as you can get. And they also want to have power over everything. All humanity, all of everything. So, imagine Donald Trump in 1973. Or 75 or something like that. And he's a young man. He's in his 30s, and he's expressing himself because he's a millionaire. And, and nothing holding him back. He's not going to go in the military. He buys that off. He's not going to serve in any way, shape, or form. He'll buy that off, get someone else to do it for him. He's never going to go to jail for any crime that he does. He'll get someone else to do it for him. He'll get out of everything, because he's hate. He's hate. And, we know him from his hateful period in life. Check this. We remember this.
Of course I hate these people. And let's all hate these people, because maybe hate is what we need if we're going to get something done.
That's Trump. We know him. That's Trump, the man of hate. That is who he is. Well, when you're hateful and you have a job, and he creates his own job. He goes out and buys buildings, and he won't rent them out to black people. So he goes to court for that, and him and his father, and they get really busted, and his father is a member of the KKK, but we don't really know that because time passes. Dad's dead. We don't know Dad. We don't know his dad. So, but in reality, he's a hateful person, hateful as it can be. He grew up hateful.
14,000 apartments in 39 different buildings, all mostly white tenants. That is until the Department of Justice took notice in 1973 and slammed Donald Trump and his father Fred Trump with a lawsuit. Trump management was charged with discriminating against African Americans and breaking federal law. Donald Trump, then just 27, was president of the company. The Department of Justice accused the Trumps of violating the Fair Housing Act, arguing they were turning away renters based on race and color. Who tipped them off? Local activists, so-called testers, posing as potential renters at Trump's buildings, mainly in Brooklyn and Queens. Elise Goldweber was a lawyer for the DOJ's Fair Housing section at the time and was called on to handle the Trump case.
When the black testers came, they were shown, they may have been shown apartments, but were told nothing was available. Whereas when the white testers came, yes, there were things that were available. That would be the norm.
And if the Trumps did rent to a black person, Goldweber recalls, they would do so only at one building in Brooklyn, reserving the other buildings for white tenants.
That the white people would live in Trump Village and the people of color would live in Flatbush.
And according to the Justice Department, they even had a secret coding system to do it, a racial code. Here's how.
Some of the applications were marked with a C, which we learned that it meant colored, so that the prospective tenants who had come in were noted to be colored.
Yes, you heard her right. The Department of Justice alleged applications submitted by prospective African American renters were designated with a secret code.
That's Trump. Yep. And that's his past. That's his past. That's what he did. Yeah, we know that. It's fact. Yeah, a historical fact. Let's go back a little further. Yeah, let's go when Donald was a little boy, like 7 or 8, and his dad was a very much younger man, very active in his life. What was Fred Trump doing in his little active life?
Ooh, interesting story today broken by Boing Boing. They went back and found an old New York Times article from 1927 that talks about Fred Trump, father of Donald Trump. So let me quote, a man named Fred Trump was among those arrested in a massive brawl between KKK members and police at a 1927 Memorial Day parade in New York City. He was not on the side of the police. Now, is it the same Fred Trump? It could have been a different Fred Trump. Well, here's interesting evidence. The Times article listed the arrestee's address as 17524 Devonshire Road in Jamaica Estates, Queens. Past local news reports noted that the Republican presidential frontrunner's father lived at that address.
So that's a fact. That's a fact. Fred Trump is a member of the KKK. So commonly that he went to jail for rioting and assaulting police during a KKK ceremony. That's Mr. Fred Trump. Nice. So what happens if Donald Trump moves forward and he says, wow, I'd like to become president because I'm just so powerful. Yeah. And I think there's money to be made when you're president. I think it's possible. So he starts to move toward presidency. And who is supporting him? Who's his biggest supporter?
Power! One of the largest hate groups in the country is planning a victory parade for the president-elect. As Donald Trump prepares to move into the White House, the KKK is preparing a celebration parade in his honor. According to the Anti-Defamation League's website, the Loyal White Knights of Pelham, North Carolina is one of the most active Klan groups in the United States. This is not the first time President-elect Trump has garnered acclaim from white supremacists. Former KKK Grand Wizard David Duke, who lost a Senate bid in Louisiana on Tuesday, has time and again showered the president-elect in praise and went on a gleeful Twitter spree after the election results came in. The Trump campaign did not immediately return a request for comment on the KKK group's parade plans. The president-elect's campaign later did some damage control and called Duke's endorsement repulsive.
Have you figured out yet why Donald Trump hated Obama? Why he needed to discredit him as an American citizen? How far would he go to prove that he's not even have the birthright to be president? He went real far. Even his wife was completely consumed in the thought that it was all fake. I mean, you got to be really pretty dang stupid to fall for that. He pulls out his birth certificate right there from Hawaii, right away. And she says, well, it doesn't look right. He says, no, I don't accept it. He doesn't accept it because the man is black. Period. He's black. He wouldn't have him in his apartment, let alone as president. Think this out, people. Think it out. Donald Trump is filled with hate. Filled with hate.
Inflatable Donald Trump that's been erected there. You might notice that it shows Donald Trump wearing what appears to be KKK-style robes featuring a swastika. CNN's Ana Cabrera is in Phoenix at that site at this event. So Ana, do we know who put up this sign? I mean, is this inflatable Donald Trump with that KKK connection?
Yes, we do. These are people who are demonstrating and are representing immigrants' rights groups, civil rights groups. They are residents here in the Phoenix area, and they do not like Donald Trump. Clearly, they want to send a powerful message to him and the rest of America. And so they've put up this big inflatable Donald Trump dressed in a KKK costume with a big inflatable sign that says Trump Make America Hate Again, tying the presumptive Republican presidential candidate to images of hate from the past.
So it really shouldn't take much for you to figure it out. There's a lot of hateful people in this world. You got neighbors, you got people, employees, you got mothers, fathers, they beat the shit out of you when you're a kid. They're intolerant, they're mean, they're bullies. Yeah, we got a lot of them in America, all over the world. He's one of them. He's one of them. How bad is he? I mean, empathy is one thing, compassion's another thing, but are you the kind of person who pulls the wings off of flies? Are you the kind of person who tortures people and laughs when their family is going poor and they had a good running business? So we know the KKK loves him. We know his father was a member of the KKK, which means he's filled with hate. Culturally, he's a bigot. Yeah. So when you're a bigot, is there anything in your heart that would make you pay a contract for the work that he does? When you have no heart, would you be looking for a way out to not pay? Get the job done. All the materials, all the labor, everything completed. Great job. But does he pay the people? Does he pay for the materials? Do they go bankrupt? Do they lose their family? Do they commit suicide? Has that ever happened in Trump's life?
Heinous racism and contempt for the men and women who serve and are injured and die serving our country in the United States military by the man seeking to serve as our next commander-in-chief. According to Atlantic reporter Jeffrey Goldberg, whose body of reporting on this topic is rock solid, Donald Trump, quote, erupted when presented with the cost of a funeral for a 20-year-old Army private, Vanessa Guillen. She was murdered at Fort Hood. Guillen is the daughter of Mexican immigrants. She grew up in Houston, Texas. Jeffrey Goldberg reports on what happened at an Oval Office meeting in December of 2020. Quote, at a certain point, according to two people present at the meeting, Donald Trump asked, quote, did they bill us for the funeral? What did it cost? According to attendees and to contemporaneous notes of the meeting taken by a participant, an aide answered, yes, we received a bill. The funeral cost $60,000. Trump became angry. Quote, it doesn't cost $60,000 to bury a fucking Mexican. He turned to his chief of staff, Mark Meadows, and issued an order, quote, don't pay it. Later that day, he was still agitated. Can you believe it, he said. According to a witness, fucking people trying to rip me off. That's Donald Trump using the F word to describe a funeral that he had offered to pay for a member of the United States military.
That's your buddy. I mean, sometimes it's hard to know when a person is a hateful, mean person. So many women marry men and they beat the shit out of them, strangle them to death, you know, blacken their eyes, throw them out of cars. Men, mean, hateful. They rape women. You don't rape a woman for sex. You do it because you hate them. It's a violent act. Donald Trump was sued by his own wife for rape. That's pretty bad. He not only raped his own wife, he raped so many women. He was busted for rape in New York, for raping a woman. And you all know this is true. And now you know, he hates so much, even though this nice lady who was in the military who died. He went to this scenario of hearing about her death, and he was moved by other people. Are you going to do anything? Are you going to offer anything? Condolences? What? What are you going to do? He said, well, we'll pay for her burial. And doesn't think much of it. Day comes, she's buried, and then he gets the bill. And he says, don't pay that. That's a Mexican. What was I thinking? Really? I mean, wow. But that's just one hateful act. And he was president at the time. So during the time he's not president, and he's supposedly this big wheeler dealer, casinos, airlines, football teams, businesses, Trump Tower, everything. But he's a mean man. What effect does that have on society when someone like this is let loose to go do business with people, regular people, human beings who are supporting their family, supporting their community, paying their employees on time, every time? Honest businesses. What happens when Trump gets involved with an honest business?
Never got paid. And many other small contractors never got paid. It was a profitable endeavor for him. Just the people who did the work didn't get paid, that's all. There was multiple sign shops within our local who also experienced it, went out of business as well for not being paid.
I did great in Atlantic City. I knew when to get out. My timing was great, and I got a lot of credit for it.
In my 37 years, I was out for 9 months. That's the longest I've ever been out. I did the best I could to, maintain for my children and my wife and my house, But it was a hard hard road. I had unemployment for a while. I was reduced to collecting food stamps. And I tried to find work on the side, mowing grass, painting, whatever I could do. Because I was a proud man. I'm a worker.
Heinous racism and contempt for the men and women who serve and are injured and die serving our country in the United States military by the man seeking to serve as our next commander-in-chief. According to Atlantic reporter Jeffrey Goldberg, whose body of reporting on this topic is rock solid, Donald Trump, quote, erupted when presented with the cost of a funeral for a 20-year-old Army private, Vanessa Guillen.
Yep, that's Donald Trump. Yeah, it doesn't matter what it is. He doesn't want to pay. Doesn't matter what it is. But how many people? How many people? He had a lot of businesses, a lot of buildings. What effect? What is another person who really is in business, and how do they feel? Other businessmen, top businessmen, their credibility is the most important thing. Paying everybody on time, never leaving a debt to someone who you buy materials from. Employees, you pay them. You pay them overtime. You never complain. You thank them. Does Trump?
About how Donald Trump asked him to short pay vendors. And he was proud of the fact that he did it for Mr. Trump, as he called him, right? I don't know why, but I expected, you know how he would hold a little impromptu press conference after each day of the trial? For some reason, I thought he would come out and say, no, I never asked him to short pay vendors, right? Didn't say a word about it. Probably the worst thing you could say about a business person is he short pays his vendors. He doesn't pay what he owes. That is the ultimate arbiter of trust that you have with any business person. Do they pay you when you do work for them, yes or no? He was proud of the fact, didn't question it at all. When you rip off hardworking Americans, you are not qualified to be president of the United States of America.
Put so many good contractors out of business.
I'm running to give back to this country, which has been so very good to me.
It was one of those things. It's like, it's Donald Trump. You know, what could go wrong?
Stephen Jenkins and his sister Beth Rosser are second-generation owners of Triad Building Specialties, a business built by their father, Forrest. When Trump's Taj Mahal began construction, Triad won the bid to install every toilet partition inside the casino's bathrooms. It was the largest contract their family business had ever landed.
We bill $100,000, $150,000 a month. That's a really good month for us. And this was almost $300,000 in one contract. Everyone was, you know, it was a big job. It was great.
But as Triad's workers wrapped up the project, talk started swirling that contractors weren't getting paid. When the Taj Mahal filed for bankruptcy in 1991, Triad was left with this $231,000 claim in court. They say they ended up with a payout of just $70,000.
It's hard for me to talk about it, but he wanted all four of us to work.
Jenkins gets emotional when he remembers how their father struggled to keep the business standing.
He was distraught. It was, you know, he's watching something that he built his whole life start to slip through his fingers.
A generous loan, they say, saved the Pennsylvania company.
He didn't go to a bank for the loan. He borrowed it off of a friend.
Here is a union worker who's talking about how he doesn't support Trump because
What came next made headlines. Nightline covered Rothman's story.
You apparently saw things with some clarity,
Yes.
at least as far as the Taj Mahal was concerned, and yet when you spoke out on that, you got canned.
Donald Trump was so upset with Rothman's grim prediction for the Taj Mahal that he is said to have called up his boss and said either make Rothman apologize publicly or fire him.
They fired me on the spot.
Rothman says what really worried him about the Taj Mahal was how he says Donald Trump had financed it with an extremely high interest loan.
The Taj would have to make close to $1.3 million a day to break even. No casino in the world ever had that kind of number.
But Rothman turned out to be exactly right about the Taj. It could not bring in enough money. And a little over a year after it opened, the Taj Mahal filed for bankruptcy, and Trump's other 2 Atlantic City casinos followed suit the next year.
Was he?
Auto Workers, UAW, slammed Trump and Musk with federal labor charges after Trump, during an X interview, bragged about Musk firing workers who tried to unionize.
I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, you want to quit? They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike and you say, that's okay, you're all gone. You're all gone. So every one of you is gone and you are the greatest. You would be very good. Oh, you would love it.
But the UAW
So now you've all seen this guy, yeah, and you know Elon Musk is as greedy as it can get. He lies all the time, yeah, all the time, just to make money, and he's going to lose everything, and so is Trump. Now, I will make sure of it. That's my job. It's my job. So what do you think is happening? Right now, they are screwing people of Medicaid, people of food stamps, people who depend on Meals on Wheels, people who depend on employment checks, people who depend on elderly income every month. They want to take it all. They want to end it. Yeah, they want to end it. They want to end everything. Wherever money goes, they need to pull it back so that they can spend it and give major tax incentives for the rich. This is greed. This is corruption. This is evil. This is hate. Hate. So we need to do something. And I do. I am here. You know. This is me. This is Jesus the Christ. I'm not a guy who has a regular job. I'm not a person who, does anything other than what you're looking at right there. Yeah, I heal the planet. I teach. I witness. I recognize what's going on, and I help to change it through transformation of the soul. So in that, I offer meditation. So we're going to do a meditation now. It's called the Great Invocation. Yeah. So I just want you to just listen to the puja. You all got the pujas. Yeah. So right now we're going to do this together. And this great invocation is to help to prepare the way for the coming of Christ, to wake up humanity to the heart of God, to the mind of God, to the will of God, and to bring that into humanity as mercy, as grace, as change, as an alternative to no compassion, no empathy, heartless, absolute heartless behavior, and no justice. Justice is important. And I'm going to show you justice over the next 4 years. I'm going to show you a closing of the door that these people come from, and building a humanity that has empathy and compassion and strength and courage to stand up against the devil. Know right from wrong, and judge those who are making people poor, making people suffer and die young. That's these two people, a whole bunch of them. So let's do these prayers. It's a science of invocation, evocation. Believe in the soul. Okay, so let's begin our meditation.
Let the forces of light bring illumination to mankind. Let the spirit of peace be spread abroad. May humanity of goodwill everywhere meet in a spirit of cooperation. May forgiveness on the part of all mankind be the keynote at this time. Let power attend the efforts of the great ones. So let it be, and help us do our part. I invoke the holy archangels of heaven. Let the lords of liberation issue forth. Let them bring succor to the sons of mankind. Let the rider from the secret place come forth, and come say, "Come forth, O mighty one." Let the souls of mankind awaken to the light, and may they stand with massed intent. Let the fiat of the Lord go forth. The end of the woe has come. Come forth, O mighty one. The hour of service of the saving force has now arrived. Let it be spread abroad, O mighty one. Let light and love and power and death fulfill the purpose of the coming one. The will to save is here. The love to carry forth the work is widely spread abroad. The active aid of all who know the truth is also here. Come forth, O mighty one, and blend these three. Construct a great defending wall. The rule of evil now must end. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of mankind. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of mankind. May Christ return to earth. From the center, where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, a purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center, which we call the race of mankind, let the plan of love and light work out. And may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Sons of men are one, and I am one with them. I seek to love, not hate. I seek to serve and not exact due service. I seek to heal, not to hurt. Let pain bring due reward of light and love. Let the soul control the outer form, and let life and all events and bring forth to light the love which underlies the happenings of the time. Let vision come and insight. Let the future stand revealed. Let inner union demonstrate and outer cleavage be gone. Let love prevail. Let all mankind love.
Okay, just relax. Take it easy. So in the pictures that I was showing during the meditation, you can see me in enthronements and everything. And you see me here with going to an enthronement where they put this umbrella and everything above me. And then you see here, also next to me is Mandarava. And Mandarava, I never began teaching until I met Mandarava. And it wasn't until I was able to manifest her to go through her life and walk where she walked and go where she went, and all freedom to do so. And she made it to me. And it really was an enormous process for her to go through. The greatest I've ever experienced of anybody as an adept is Mandarava. Her ability to be under God's influence and to be told where to go and what to do and when is extraordinary. And yet we all have a battle within ourselves to question and doubt and have those experiences. But Mandarava has made it all the way to me, and in doing so, she made it possible for me to go ahead and allow myself to begin my enthronement in Tibet. And there we are at my very first enthronement, where her and I together are walking into Tibet, which was quite a long process of traveling to China and driving for many days into the heart of Tibet until we got to Dema, where we were enthroned at this monastery as Padmasambhava and Mandarava. And so ever since, I have always taken her everywhere when I do my work. And we got married about 25 years ago or so. And, you know, it is my greatest heart desire to make that fulfillment. And I did. And from that, I was able to know that it was my responsibility at this point was to begin my externalization process safely and begin the process of healing the United States and attributing that healing to God and the awakening of the soul inside of humanity. And that is where we're at today. You know, so thank you all for attending this meditation and this teaching. We're here for this, and that's it. You know, we don't have other callings. This is it. So thank you again for attending. We will be doing the darshan in about 3 months from now. So you've got that much time, to prepare. I will be doing these teachings every Sunday as I am right now. So you be there, I'll be there. And this process, this work, is the strongest transmission throughout the hierarchy, as you can see. We're not doing this in some YouTube channel thing. This is a big enthronement. I have a big monastery. You see that behind me. That is in America, in California. And it's built to send the teachings of Christ throughout the earth and heal the nations, heal the United States, protect us from the coming of the Antichrist, which is here, busy, in the office, in the Oval Office right now. Closing the door, he is on everything that's good, causing people more suffering than you could ever imagine, lying to them, saying, no, I'm making this great. This is caused by somebody else. So trust me, he is getting busted. He is there for a reason. I'm your real president. I always will be. It is my relationship to this earth to bring about the right governing reality, as did Adam for earth. And that process is to illuminate the soul and eliminate transgression manifesting sinners. That will be done. I'm a tuku, and tuku is known as the person who has the power, the grace, and the enlightenment to reincarnate. So I'm not going anywhere, even if I die. I come back. I'm always alive. So let's stick with this process while I'm here. Let's get these teachings. Let's ground them out. Let's radiate this light to dispel the glamour in the world and stop this process of Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Thank you very much again for attending this meditation.